All right, blessings, everybody, right? So, something that I think a lot of us could agree on, right, is that poverty, struggle, even being homeless is one of the greatest teachers in life, right? Because what happens when we're put in those circumstances is that we have to get creative, right? Because we have to make sure that where if you're in a cold environment that we're keeping warm. We have to make sure that we're putting food into our stomach. We have to make sure that we're getting the correct amount of fluid. So we have to get creative in those circumstances, right? And we don't really have the time for the games, right? And why I can speak on this is because I've been through those situations myself, right? So after my parents split up, one of my parents was in a hospital. So during that time, I was coming up in a poverty type environment, right? During a part of my time that I was in my 20s, I was homeless for a little bit, right? Um, I had to sleep in my truck. I had to take showers at the gym. I had to go from state to state, you know, to make sure I had a place to rest my head at different times, right? And during that time, I had to really do a lot of reflection. I had to look inside of me and figure out, okay, what do I want to be? Am I comfortable with this circumstance? Do I want to live like this? And do I want the people that I love, the people that's coming up behind me, to live in those similar circumstances, right? And I was like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. So during these times, you tap into creativity. You tap into being able to reflect, right? And what I want to dive into is that what happens when we get out, what tends to happen is when we get out of those circumstances and we start putting money into our pocket, a lot of us get complacent, right? So then we start spending our money and our time on entertainment, right? Instead of learning more. Remember, we just went through and we passed one of the greatest teachers, right? But then we say, okay, we good. We learned our lesson and we stop learning. So what happens is we stop increasing our learning, which is going to increase our value, increase our potential, or tap into our potential where we can start building even more, right? We get caught up in the entertainment of things and saying, okay, I made it, right? But just think about ways that you can go and increase your value in the marketplace so that you can build up your economy. So now you're living autonomous. You're not going to somebody asking them to give you a paycheck week to week or bi-weekly, right? So don't just get through one of the greatest lessons in life. After that, keep learning. Set your learning on the schedule that you want to be, right? So that means, suggestions, that mean, putting your money into assets, going to seminars, paying for building up your spirituality. You get what I'm saying? So you could enhance who you are as an individual. So you could tap into your godhood. Don't let life dictate to you when you learn. Start putting it into your own hands. All right? So I know this video is going to bring a lot of value. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And make sure you watch all the videos. I'm going to have much more coming up. And follow my Instagram, Sinceredaprophet. I appreciate you.